Hey everybody, on this week's episode of Church Chat, we have with us the world famous SrtMush. Yes. So, got a little questions here that we're going to ask Todd. So, in this episode, we're going to skip the technical aspects of everything, and we're just going to learn a little bit more about, again, the world famous SrtMush and what he's all about. So, anyway, let's get started.
And now it's time for Church Chat.
So Todd, what brings you to Texas this time around?
We are here this weekend for We Are Mopar 3, and we came last year. It was the first one we came to, and it was a really, really awesome experience. So we figured we'd come down again for this year. And,
Yep. So last year at We Are Mopar was the first time that I actually got to meet Todd. We kind of met on Instagram. Just because we both had a B5 Hellcat. His a Charger and mine was the Challenger. But we just kind of became friends and poking fun at each other. And so, last year at the event, him and his wife came down and we just had a great grand old time. And we're super excited to have another round this year. So, all right. So, got some questions for you.
All right.
Get to know you a little bit better. So, how long have you been into the car scene?
well, I mean, from the time I turned 16, I got my first cars when I first started modifying cars. And prior to that, I mean, I wasn't really that interested in it. But once I actually owned, my own first vehicle, it was kind of like it just kind of instantly kicked off. And then I got into my best friend in high school. He was real big into like the turbo Dodges, like the Daytonas and the Shelby Daytonas and the Turbo 1 and Turbo 2 cars. And then I had a twin turbo Stealth in college, and I kind of got out of it for a little bit while I was kind of focusing on music. And then when they came out with the Hemis, I take that back. When they came out with the Challenger in '08 is kind of when it kind of piqued my interest again, and I got to jump back in it.
Cool. So what was your first car? Never as cool, but yours might be. So.
It was a '87 Toyota Celica.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a piece of crap.
That's not too bad. That's '87. That's rear-wheel drive then.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was or not.
It may or may not be.
I don't remember.
Yeah, my first car was a 1984 Ford Ranger. Wasn't too bad. Yeah. So as far as you told me once that you raced imports. So what made you go from that life to switching over to completely something different with Mopars?
Well, the first car that I really got into with racing was a Prelude, and I mean, it had so much stuff done to it. And,
Preludes are pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a kind of like a completely something you'd see in Fast and the Furious, but it was before Fast and Furious. Even
Right. Oh God, that movie it ruined the scene in my opinion. But
so that's kind of that was right out of high school. And then, I got into it because the car was, relatively inexpensive. I think I paid $6,000 for the car or something. Of course, I spent triple that doing stuff to it. Yeah. And then as I got older and, got better jobs, made more money, I was able to get nicer cars. So, it was a good way to, I guess, get into the hobby because you can get a pretty cool car for relatively cheap, and then use your money to mess with it. So that's kind of why I started out that way. It was just because that's what I could afford.
Right.
And then so after that, join the big leagues.
Right. Cool. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your channel and what got you into what directed you to YouTube and started making videos.
When I was so I had a 2008 Charger was around 700 horsepower. When that,
It's pretty legit.
yeah, it was pretty awesome. Built motor and everything. Then they announced the Hellcats, and I was like, man, the Hellcat is what basically I tried to build this car to be.
Right.
Only it's going to be way better.
Right, and with a warranty and all the creature comforts and all. Yeah, exactly.
So, as I was, of course, they announced the Challenger first, and I was like, that's cool, but I really need a four-door.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they announced the Charger, I was like, oh man,
game over. Yeah.
So I was looking online for reviews on it, videos of people who actually owned them, and there wasn't very much out there. Like there was plenty of videos from like the press and like Motor Trend or whatever, all the websites and stuff that do that. But there was no real reviews from actual owners that I found on YouTube. So my first couple videos were just not even really reviewed. Like they weren't like fancy reviews. They were just me kind of talking about the car, what I liked about it, what was better than the previous generation, or what was similar, what was different. And honestly, I didn't really plan on anybody seeing them or anything.
Right.
I was just putting it up there just because.
Right.
And,
I think I joined the channel. There was probably 1,000 followers. That was when your intro still had you playing the guitar and everything.
So, that was a long time ago. So I just started putting videos up, and people watched them for whatever reason because they're terrible. But and then I was just like, well, I guess I'll just keep putting videos up of everything I do with the car. If people want to watch it, cool. If they don't, whatever, I don't care. So that's kind of how it started.
And it's, what opportunities has it opened up for you?
Well, I mean, it's definitely allowed us to meet a lot of awesome people. We come to places like Texas. I mean, we've been all over the country now, either going to shows or racing or going to events. Going to the Demon Reveal. Just really, it's allowed us to just kind of just experience the hobby or the and on just a bigger level, and getting to getting to go to a lot of these events that before we never would have been able to go to.
Right.
So it's definitely been a great experience so far, and it's crazy that how social media and YouTube and stuff has kind of where it's gotten to in terms of what people pay attention to, and a lot of the companies out there really pay attention to that stuff. And Dodge does a great job of paying attention to their people that are out there promoting them, like you and I do. And, so it's definitely been a really cool experience because of it.
Excellent. So, what is the craziest thing that you've ever done in a car? PG version. Illegal activities excluded. All right, we can skip that.
Craziest thing I've ever done in a car. We've jumped a car.
Oh, that's a good one. I've never done that.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
No, usually doesn't. It usually, hey, watch this, never goes well.
Yeah,
so.
It was driving down this old gravel road and pulling the e-brake every chance we could and just drifting around, and then my buddy was like, let's jump it. And so we jumped it, and it pretty much destroyed the car, and that was that.
Right. Well, that's the perfect way to lead into, I'm sure everybody has seen Todd's unfortunate event with the Demons. So tell me a little bit about what you think went wrong with that.
It was funny, like right after it happened, the guy that I was running against, when I got to the end of the track, he came up, he was like, you okay? He was like, I wish I would have known your car was making that much power. I would have told you not to run it tonight. Mm-hmm. He's like, they didn't prep anything at all. Mm-hmm. He's like, us locals that come out here on the testing team, we don't bring our high horsepower cars. Mm-hmm. So there was no track prep at all.
Right.
And after watching the video and talking to a lot of people that know more than I do, because I'm not an expert by any means, everybody has kind of said that the tire that we were running on the back is too, the sidewalls on it aren't strong enough for that heavy of a car with that much weight transfer on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Tim Barth, which he's a big tuner for Hellcats and Pennies, he has two demons that he's been testing, set up pretty much very similar to mine, and they both have the same tire on it. And he said he has slow motion video of the tires actually rolling underneath,
under themselves.
Yeah,
wow.
It's like it starts to wrinkle, and then it just gets eaten up underneath. And he said he's only been able to make like one successful pass on them. He said any other time it's been a nightmare, and he has to let out of it, at whether 100 feet, 300 feet, whatever. And so, and several other people on the forums and stuff have said the same thing. Like it's an issue with the tires. So I mean, they hook really good. There's we have like one of the best 60 foots out there out of anybody with a Hellcat or Demon. But apparently they're just not stable enough for a 4,000 plus pound car. And so that's what caused the car to kind of get out of control. And then obviously, the guy I was running was right next to me, and he was a little bit in my blind spot, so I couldn't tell exactly where he was. So when I started to go towards his lane, I knew that if I got in his lane, either I would hit him or force him to hit me. So at that point, my goal was to just make sure to stay out of his way. Because I didn't know if he was paying attention to me, if he was seeing what was going on with me. I mean, when you're racing, you're focused.
Tunnel vision.
So I did what I could to make sure I didn't hit him, and so in doing that, pulled a little too hard and kicked it out the other way. So.
Those sticky tires, as soon as it grabs traction, then it's just going to kick out. So. If it would have been a street tire, then it might have slid a little bit better and not have grabbed and went the other way. So tell me a little bit about. I mean, we're glad that you're okay. The car isn't as bad as probably what you originally had thought, hitting the wall. But tell me a little bit about the place that's getting you all fixed up.
So it's at a place called Countryside Customs outside of Chicago. Like the owners of the shop, they have, Dina and Hellcat, they're real big into Mopar, they all drive, Pennies, and they're very familiar with repairing that chassis, which is, a lot of shops aren't necessarily proficient at doing unibody repairs.
It's very different.
Yeah, so, I sent him a lot of pictures and videos up front, and we talked a lot, and, he kind of told me what their plan of attack would be with it and everything. Showed me pictures and stuff of cars that they had repaired and cars that they built, because they do also like restorations and stuff as well. So they're not just a collision shop that's trying to turn cars out. They actually do builds, and they do restorations and resto mods and stuff like that. And they all are into racing and modding their cars, so they would take as much pride in getting the car fixed to perfect condition again as I would. So
I mean, I briefly went over and saw some of the work that they do, and I really think that it's probably going to be even better than what it was. I mean, our paint jobs aren't the greatest from the factory, even though they're an expensive car, they're still the same process that that the Dodge Dart gets. So it's definitely, I'm excited to see what it looks like. I think it's going to be even better than the day you bought it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so tell me something that all those in Instagram and YouTube land do not know about you. What's one thing that that nobody knows about Todd other than your circle?
Wow. That's tough, because being out there on social media like that, everybody knows everything about you. I mean, most people probably don't know that I spent, 20 years playing music, playing guitar, and being in bands and traveling around the country playing music, and that was kind of like my big, the main passion that I pursued for a long time until my daughter was born. So, a lot of people don't know that, and I mean, it's still something I'm passionate about. You know, it's one of those things where the older you get, the more responsibilities you have.
Right,
you know,
right.
you kind of got to pick and choose what you get involved in because there's only so many hours in it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I of course know. I've seen various videos that I've seen of Todd playing guitar, and he might be pretty modest, but Todd's a pretty good guitar player. So
Mediocre.
well, it's it's the humble ones that we know are the best ones. So all right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a speed round. So steak cooked, bloody or well done?
Medium.
Okay. All right. The Rock or Macho Man Randy Savage?
Back then or now?
Well, now he's dead, so I mean, just pick one.
I have to say Macho Man.
Okay. All right. GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Ding. Okay. Do you sleep with the fan on or off?
Ceiling fan on.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. If you had one food that you could eat for the rest of your life, tacos, burger, or pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza. Okay. All right. We're in Texas, and there's a big rivalry here since, I believe, 2010, 2011. This little company from California moved here and tried to take over the crown of the best burger in Texas. Todd has had both since we introduced him to those last year. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
I think Whataburger.
All right, you heard it here. Whataburger is the best burger in Texas, and I will agree with him. All right, everybody, I want to thank Todd here, SrtMush, for joining us this week. We're super excited for We Are Mopar. It's going to be an amazing show. It's always a great time when we get to meet those that we see on social media, and we get to put a face to the car and the owner. So we're super excited for that, and it's going to be a great time. Definitely next week we're going to be going out to Portland, Maine and driving the new 2019 Challenger lineup. So we're super excited for that, and stay tuned for a video coming from there. All right, Todd, so we all know what your signature move is to end the video. So, all right, thanks for joining DFW Speed. We're out.
Holla.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
That one's good, man. So, Todd, what are your turn-ons and your turn-offs?
Well, I would have to say
I put the team on my back. I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap. Nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday. They think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off. Waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around. Never be turning around. Ayy. Never be slowing it down. Never be slowing it down.